And away we go. It is the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken right here on BearcatJournal.com. As always, visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Look, I don't know what better way you could possibly spend the next 2 days. Saturday and Sunday, conference tournament week. Go get you some tendies. Go get you some dunkers, some fried chicken, some fries, some coleslaw, some fried pickles, whatever the case may be. Have Galactic take care of the spread as you hang back. Don't have to cook and enjoy watching some of the most exciting days of college basketball of the season. They will deliver it to you. Go to the app, pretty much anywhere inside the 275 loop, or get down to Galactic. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off of your order. All right, Aaron, welcome back. Good to have you.
Appreciate it. Do want to apologize for missing spring practice and the last couple nightcap nights, but me and my family have been going through some pretty heavy shit. So
Happy good, brother.
Happy to be back here, but
take your time. I know I gave you the opportunity. You didn't have to be here tonight. You wanted to be. So
I watched the game, so
it's good to have you back. And hey, man, in the heaviest of times, sometimes it does help to just have something to
normalcy
to get your mind off of things for a couple days or a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Whatever. We were gonna go live tonight, but with Cincinnati winning and advancing to the semifinals tomorrow, either you're gonna see an end to the forever end to anything that has to do with football and basketball in the American Athletic Conference, or you're going to see us having a conversation about beating Houston and going to play in the championship game. So we're going to go live tomorrow night is the plan. Recorded show tonight just to get Aaron. You got Aaron's been out for a couple days. It's like working back from an injury.
I'm like Vic, ease him back in.
Yeah, we got to ease him back in. Didn't want to have the live chat to throw him off his game, to kind of distract him. So we'll go recorded tonight. Thanks to everybody for watching. We'll talk about the win. 84-54 over Temple. We'll give it a little preview of tomorrow against Houston.
Well, real quick, also easy money today. I think the line was 5.5. But if you feel like betting, we'll see if Cincinnati can at least cover the spread. If not win, I imagine money on Cincinnati is probably going to be pretty big if they do pull off a win. But if you're going to make that bet, download Betfred on your phone. Use promo code Bearcat. It is all caps, apparently. Somebody did ask me about that, but it is all caps.
That's what I was told. It is all caps
on Bearcat for your Bearcat Journal promotions, and it also supports us.
So help us out, and a lot of games to play tomorrow. Thursday and Friday are my two favorite days. I like Thursday and Friday of conference tournament week even more than the first two rounds of the tournament.
The only time I went to Vegas, I was there for conference tournament week instead of the actual
fun,
tournament.
Man.
It was the best thing about it was the books weren't packed.
Right.
Like you haven't gotten to where the books are packed. They're prepping, but they're not packed. So you can walk up, place your bet in a minute or two, and walk back to your seat and get the whole experience without being elbow to elbow and having to wait forever at the window.
Yeah, it's one of my favorite times of the year, conference tournament week, and it's always better when the Bearcats are still alive.
Correct.
Wow. So, I mean, I guess the conversation starts a little slow. They go down 16-6. There was one specific reason I wasn't terribly concerned at that point. And that was Temple was relying on guys that weren't Damian Dunn to build that 16-6 lead. And it proved that it wasn't sustainable.
I mean, his heat check 3 where he airballed, after that, the wheels fell off of Damian Dunn. My goodness.
So Cincinnati did something pretty much the entire game that I loved. They had Landers Nolly on him. They gave him length. They made it a little more difficult for him to create that space that he requires, that he's really good at against guards of similar or smaller stature. But you put a wing on him and you kind of eliminate some of that space that he likes to create, and all of a sudden it becomes a struggle for him. And they just don't have the weapons with Khalif Battle no longer on the team. They don't have the weapons to survive a day where he goes
4 of 16.
Yeah, 4 of 16,
One of
only
8 from
12
3.
points, 1 of 8 from 3. Here was the key for me, though. 3 of 4 from the free throw line. He only got 2 trips to the free throw line. 7 rebounds is nice, but he only had 1 assist, so he wasn't facilitating.
I thought Cincinnati frustrated the hell out of Temple, and I thought that you could see that when Reynolds bull rushed Vic early on in the game, just put his shoulder through Vic's sternum, it looked like. And I thought Cincinnati, the body language for Temple showed that they frustrated the hell out of Temple.
Yeah, I mean, they go 20 of 61 for the game, 32% from the floor, 25% from 3. They were 8 of 12 from the free throw line. That felt like a half in the other games that they played. Cincinnati won the rebounding battle 42-40.
They only had 9 assists.
Yeah, 18 assists to 9. 15 turnovers to Cincinnati 7. When you're operating at that type of level, man, you're going to be tough to beat. The down 16-6, I thought that stretch where Dan Skillings got an offensive rebound and a putback, 30 seconds later, another offensive rebound and a putback. He gets fouled on a 3, goes to the line, hits all 3 free throws. You go from down 10 to down 3, Dan Skillings' personal 7-0 scoring run. Momentum flipped right there.
We'll get to Dan, but some stats that I wanted to point out. Cincinnati only 7 turnovers.
Just said that, yeah.
Well, I mean, but they were able to. But going off of that, though, was the points off of turnovers.
Yeah.
Cincinnati had 16 on those 15 turnovers that they caused Temple to have, whereas they only gave up 9 there. They ended up with 40 points in the paint as opposed to Temple's 20. And then there was another one. The blocks. Vic Locken had himself a block party. But 11 blocks to 5. Like I said, there was nothing in the paint. They struggled
10
from
steals
3
to 5.
It was a masterpiece of how they. This may have been the best team game I think that we might have seen them play all season.
Well, when you talk about execution of the game plan, and I talked about this a lot on the radio this week leading up to the game. I felt like in the games that and Wes has struggled with Temple. Like they were 0-3 coming into the win that they got at UC a couple weeks back. And that was a game that was down to the wire. I didn't like the way that they allowed Temple to dictate tempo. And I really felt like maybe you're not going to get a bunch of fast break baskets, but you've got to try to get out and run. You've got to try to score. Like if you watch the first 8 minutes, 7 minutes, whatever, when it was 16-6, Temple was pushing the Cincinnati offense almost all the way out to the half court line because they were getting to settle in the half court. And they were frustrating Cincinnati. They weren't getting any consistent looks because it's really difficult when you're playing that far out to move the defense because the defense behind you has room to adjust when you're playing almost at half court. And after Dan got those 2 offensive rebounds, gets fouled on the 3, they started moving the Temple defense a lot more. And then you start connecting on jump shots when you move the defense. And then next thing you know, it was like, boom, everything clicked and they cruised for the rest of the first half.
If I had told you David DeJulius,
Yeah.
Vic Locken, and Jeremiah Davenport would combine for 13 points and go 6 of 19, would you think we would win a game?
Forget just Dave in general. If I'd have told you Dave scored 4 points, he was 2 of 10 from the field, 0 of 3 from 3, didn't get to the free throw line.
Only 4 assists. But to have those 3 guys who have been staples for this offense this season go 13 points, and not only does Cincinnati win, but they win by 30. 30.
Well, that was also the second key stretch of the game is why they won by 30.
Mm-hmm.
So they get up in the second half by 18. And then they do that thing where they're kind of screwing around on offense and not being efficient. And all of a sudden it goes down to 12. Mm-hmm. And then in 103 seconds, they went on a 13-1 run, 4 threes, 1 free throw, and 12 was 24 like that. And Temple quit. Temple quit.
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're like, get us out of this game. They didn't. They're again. They went from frustrated to defeated, and that was the body language change.
I didn't think they were frustrated. I think they felt like we've seen Cincinnati blow leads. Like, if we just keep grinding this thing, we're going to get back in this game. And then in 100 seconds, it was 24. And they were like,
I read frustrated. I don't know. I guess because it was such a physical game where the refs really didn't call much. I mean, when you only have total 23 fouls total between both teams combined.
Love it.
They let everything go. There was not a ton of calls, and it was a quick game, honestly, for the late start. And maybe that's part of it because you're in tournament time and they don't want these games to drag out because there's.
Well, it was also a quick game because they got up by 30 with 8 minutes left.
It doesn't hurt anything.
They just waved the flag. Get us out of here.
But
let's go.
Yeah, that second stretch, it was good to see them step on a neck rather than make a game of it again.
Yeah, I mean, too many times we've seen them get up by 16, 17. Whatever. Next thing you know, it's 12. They make 2 more shots. The opponent makes 2 more shots, and it's 7. And now it's like, uh-oh. But Landers makes a 3. Dan makes a 3. Landers makes another 3. Micah makes a 3. And all of a sudden, it's 43-67 with 7:01 to go. And that's a wrap. Like, there's no coming back from down 24 with 7 minutes left.
And Landers, Nolly, Micah Adams Woods, Dan Skillings, which one is your MVP of this game?
Dan.
Not
even a question.
I would go Landers, and I only say that because he shut down Damian Dunn. He was able to do it offensively and defensively. But Dan Skillings, is this Dan Skillings? We just had the Dan Skillings game. Is this the new Dan Skillings game?
Yeah, because he went from a 15-point career high. Now his career high is 20. He's so good on the glass, man. He had 4 offensive rebounds. 3 of them were putbacks in the first half that really kind of got him going. The crazy thing for me was in that first game, I think he hit 3 or 4 threes to get to 15 points. I think it was 3. But he needed the 3 ball to boost his offense. He was 1 of 5 from 3. Mm-hmm. He made free throws. He got putbacks. He got to the rim. Like, he was in his bag of the things that Dan Skillings is going to do going forward. If he would have hit a couple more threes, he could have been in 30-ball range.
So the most important thing about this game, I think, going into tomorrow's game is the fact that this game built Dan Skillings and Micah Adams Wood's confidence so much.
Sure.
Dave will bounce back. He always does. I'm not worried about Dave's confidence being hurt by today's performance. But for Dan and Micah to have the games that they did in a tournament game and be really the reason that this team got over the hump and again didn't fold when they had a chance to. That they're down to 12, and instead of faltering, they just accelerated. And it was because of those two guys specifically and Landers. So I think it's a huge boost for this team going to play the best team without question in conference.
The country, America.
Sure. I mean, I know that Kansas and Arizona and UCLA are trying to make their points right now as well, but we'll see.
Houston's had the best season.
I agree.
Maybe it'll play out different in the tournament, and it usually always does. But right now, it's hard to argue Houston's not the best team in the country.
With only one first, we didn't get to address this as I was out, but only one first team all conference player, Houston, whereas Cincinnati also, we were off. Landers and Ollie got snuck in there and got in on the first team.
I didn't think he would get in over Hendricks. That's just my thought process. Was Hendricks was going to get first team, Landers was going to get second. Kudos to the voters because I thought Landers had a more consistent season than Taylor Hendricks.
We were right about Dave.
Yeah, third team, right where we thought he would be.
Yep. But I don't know. I feel like this team right now has its best chance playing Houston tomorrow that it's had all season. After a game like today, they hit on all cylinders, and you had guys who normally don't shine as the shining stars. Davenport will be fine. He has never been afraid to shoot the ball. His confidence has never taken a hit ever.
He had another one of those games where his scoring wasn't there, but he had a good floor game.
His body language,
3 rebounds, 3 assists. Just solid. He was solid.
Body language was fantastic. He seemed to be the first
guy. A couple big blocks.
He seemed to be the first guy congratulating somebody after a big play, like up in their face, doing his handshakes or shaking them or hyping them up or what. Like it was good to see. But yeah, I think he'll be fine. I think Dave will be fine. And Vic.
How many? I would love to know, Aaron, how many times Jeremiah has scored 3 points, played 20 minutes, and been plus 22.
I would venture to guess once or twice at best.
Yeah, not very often.
At
because
best.
Usually if he's not scoring, it's tough. And in this game, he was a perfect complementary piece that helped everybody else do their thing. So kudos to JD.
Anybody else you really want to talk about, or just looking forward? Look, okay.
7 of 11 from the floor, 5 of 7 from 3, 3 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 32 minutes plus 28.
That was huge. Huge.
Steady. On a day where Dave was off, Micah said, "That's all right, Dave, you got 30 on senior day, dog. I got you.
I mean, it's crazy to me that Micah and Skillings, not in that order, led the plus minus with Skillings being plus 31.
Yeah.
And Micah being plus 28. That's bananas.
Well, Dan being plus 31 in 22 minutes. Outstanding for the young fella. He loves playing his boys at Temple.
Man.
Knows a lot of those guys on the team. Grew up with a lot of them.
At least after that first game. The first game he didn't love it so much, but he got
over the nerves.
He got right that second game.
You like the little spin move and then putting the "you're too small" on the big boy?
They did not like that on the telecast. Again, if
those guys know each other, Dan's a toothpick compared to Kennedy.
It wasn't Kennedy. He did that on Reynolds. It was Reynolds.
That's what I meant, Reynolds.
I don't know. I mean, again, he was in his confidence all day long, and if he has found his swag, and we're going to play Houston tomorrow, do whatever it takes. I don't care.
Too small, big boy. Too small. Can't stop the fadeaway. Odie, only 3 points. He had one of those Odie flashback games where he wasn't as strong at the rim as he should have been. He probably should have had 7, 8, 10 points, but 12 rebounds, 5 of them on the offensive glass. To go with Dan getting 4 on the offensive glass.
Well, that's where you get those 18 second chance points. I mean,
right. You have 2 guys go get you 9 offensive rebounds. Critical. It's so critical in the flow of a game.
If Odie had caught that alley-oop, that might have been the best dunk of the season.
Yeah, he should have gone up with 2. I think he went up with 1 and then realized, I need my left. And he tried to get the left in there at the last minute and couldn't get it.
Too little, too late. But if he had caught that and gone down, oh man.
Let's see. Kalous, 6 minutes or 9 minutes, 6 points, 5 rebounds. He got his money's worth, 3 fouls in 9 minutes. He did have a block. He did have a steal. He did have an assist. Like he's just become the perfect short burst big man. Go give us 3 minutes. And he's like, I got you.
Yeah, he has so much energy on the floor.
Yeah.
It's contagious too when he's out there, right? Like it just makes you wonder what this team would have been like had he been at this level all season. But we're happy
he's there now.
We're happy that he's figured it out.
Who knows what it looks like if he's like that early. Maybe it's less time for Vic to develop.
Sure.
Maybe it's less time for Odie to develop. Yeah. So it's kind of all worked in harmony.
1 block and 1 steal for him in those 9 minutes too. That's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, Landers, he actually at one point he was 4 of 14 for 12 points and was struggling. He couldn't get his little mid-range game to go. He missed a couple shots that he's 90% on. He missed 2 or 3 of them within that 12, in that 12, 15 feet range. But he got smoking at the end. He finishes 8 of 19, 4 of 8 from 3. Not his best rebound night with 2, only 1 turnover, so good for him. 1 steal, plus 19 in 31 minutes, and he just had a couple of those in both runs in the first half and in the second half. He had a pair of threes that were just like rocket fuel as this team took off.
My favorite 3 he had where he's just kind of lazy dribbling.
Yeah.
Oh. From
the sleep.
Yep, just the left side. Yeah.
Left wing. What else you want to get to? Anything?
No, I mean, again, just a hell of a performance by them today. And this is the type of game you don't want a game where you beat the shit out of the other team and they beat the shit out of you. You had a rock fight and you came out ahead by 1, 2, 3 points, and not in a day that you have to play Houston tomorrow.
And your leader didn't we all expect Dave is going to have a much better day tomorrow.
Right.
So you get Dave back on the horse. Now, will it probably be tougher for Dan against a veteran team like that that's going to try to take away what he's good at?
They're all built like him.
Yeah. No, they're all built way stronger than Dan. They're as long as him.
Right. That's what I'm
just a little more grown man than he is at this point.
Yeah, Jarris Walker's no joke.
The only thing I don't like from today, Houston shot like shit today. And they usually don't shoot like shit 2 days in a row.
Right.
So that worries you a little bit. And they had one of those days where they couldn't get cooking on offense.
Well,
it allowed ECU to hang around. Really, Sasser was the only guy that had it going today for them.
Or maybe they are finally coming back to earth and they eke one out against Memphis to finish the season. And
Memphis is really good.
I agree. I agree. Memphis right now might be the scarier team. Might be the buzzsaw between the two of them. But I don't know. We'll see what happens. Tomorrow is the game that you have to play against Houston, and
I want to look up something. Give me a second. Here we go. And where's that little button I'm looking for?
the share present.
No. All right, there we go. Now I'm ready to present. I had to get to the thing I was looking for before I was ready to share. You've been traveling, so you really haven't seen this? Memphis scored 41 points in the second half against UCF. 38 of them were Davis and Williams. There were 3 points. I think it actually was first and last. I think Dandridge scored the first point of the second half on a free throw, and Lawson scored the last. Yeah, those. There you go. You see those last Memphis free throws by Lawson?
Yeah.
In the middle of that, Davis and Williams scored all 38 points.
It's crazy.
What, 11 of 18 from the floor, 5 of 6 from 3, 11 of 14, or 11 of 11 of 8, 9, 10, 11, 14 from the free throw line. Absurd.
But again,
absurd.
You only win by 5, and I'd much rather cruise to an easy 30
they had to
victory.
fight their ass off. I'm just saying, they scored 41. Those two dudes scored 38. Get out of here.
All right, that's dogs over here, so.
Yeah, I had to blame on us.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. Houston, I mean, there's not, like, we know what they're about. You got to battle on the glass.
Yep.
You kind of have to hope they have a bad day.
Yep.
In terms of shooting and consistency. You hope they don't hit one of those 21-2 runs that they're so known for. And if you can keep slugging to the end, I think Dave and Landers are playing really good right now. Better than they were either of the other 2 times these 2 teams played this year. Cincinnati didn't have anything to lose. And I wouldn't doubt if Memphis maybe is like, you know what? I wouldn't mind taking Sunday, not having Sunday to work. Get back to Houston, rest up, get ready for our 1 seed. Get ready to take our, try to make another run to the Final Four. Not that they're not going to play hard, but
I think you said Memphis, but I think you meant Houston.
I meant Houston. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah. You know what I mean.
Well.
Anything else you got?
Nope. I think that about wraps it up, man.
All right. We'll be back here tomorrow. We'll see how it goes. Oh, Jesus. As Kelly would say. It's the Nightcap, brought to you by Galactic Fried Chicken, right here on BearcatJournal.com.
See ya.